So this is everything that I used to create my Raspberry Pi build of Retropie. So I have an external hard drive and a converter so I can plug it into my Raspberry Pi itself, a micro SD card, of course the Raspberry Pi, micro SD to SD so I can plug it into a computer if required, a wireless keyboard that plugs into USB, and two controllers, just two for multiplayer purposes that will be synced with Bluetooth. We'll go over that later. And also speaker for audio, and nice monitor, and cactus to look cool. Okay, so this is the first boot of Retropie. You're going to want to take your PlayStation 4 controller and plug it into USB. We will go over how to sync it by Bluetooth later, but this is just the easiest way to do it for now. So, you should see Emulation Station load up. And if everything goes according to plan, you should see the welcome, one controller detected. I'm just going to turn down the brightness so it's a little bit more in sync with the rest of my room. Sorry for the lines on the monitor, it's not a brand new monitor. But anyway, now, do as it instructs you and press and hold any button on your device. It should connect it. Alright, so most of this is explanatory. Up, down, left, right. Start is your options button. Select is your share button. A is O. B is X. X is triangle. Y is square. Then goes back to being explanatory. Left shoulder, left trigger, right trigger. Left thumb is pressing in the joystick. Right thumb is pressing in the right joystick. And up, down, left, right. Up, down, left, right. Okay. So from here on out, navigating menus. To go into a menu, if we want to select something, we press O. If we want to exit a menu or leave something, we press X. Alright, so from here, press the O button to bring you into here. Now, you can go ahead and mess around, but I'm just going to get straight into what I need to do. Go down to Wi-Fi, press O, and it should bring a little bit of configuration up. Now, if it's one of these like blue screens with the gray boxes, it's a little bit different for moving around. I don't know why. Press square to select stuff. So connect to Wi-Fi and select your network, and then enter the password. You will need an actual keyboard for this. That's why I brought mine, and I'll get back with you when I'm done putting in my password. Well, if it's successful, it should come up saying that it's got your IP address and your Wi-Fi network. At that point, you can either use your keyboard or your controller. I'm just going to use keyboard, but move over and press cancel, and it will bring you back out of there. Now, just to make sure everything's up to date, you're going to want to take your controller, and you're going to want to go to Retropie Setup, press O, and in here, this is just a notice saying that people are ripping Retropie off, but don't worry about that. Alright, so from here, you're going to want to press on Update All Installed Packages. Do you want to update all installed packages? Press yes, and expect this to take 45 minutes, depending on how good your SD card read speed is, and how good your Wi-Fi network is. Now, make sure you check out it every once in a while though, because menus do come up that require you to press OK. I'll record those if they come up. But other than that, yeah, just wait for this to update, and oh, here's another one. But if it asks you if you want to update the underlying OS packages, yes, you do. That's just going to make sure that your Retropie is up to the newest version. For example, my image is 4.0, the newest version is 4.1, so this just updates it. Okay, so you should see that it says that all of your packages have been updated. From here, go down and reboot your Pi. Okay, so we just rebooted our Pi after updating all of the packages. We should be back here. Now, from here, we're going to configure using our controller via Bluetooth. So, as you can probably guess, you're going to go down into Bluetooth. Should be the second one down if you're on Retropie 4.1. And wait for it to boot into here. Now, here's how we're going to do it if you have one controller. Unplug your controller. So, you've got it just here. Next, from here, you're going to want to take your controller if you're using a PlayStation controller, and you should have the share button and the PlayStation button. Press and hold them both down for a few seconds. You should see the light start to blink. So from here, you're going to want to press register and connect a device. It'll search for a few seconds. Alright, so it should come up with wireless controller. Press enter, and you want keyboard only. Press enter on that. It should say successfully registered and connected. Now if you look at your controller, you should see the blue light on. Press cancel. Now from here you'll get to the menu and you'll try and press buttons and nothing will happen. So on your keyboard, press F4 and it should boot you out of the Raspberry Pi and into your terminal. Once you're in terminal, type in the word exit and then press enter. It boots us back into emulation station. So it'll detect our gamepad and we'll have to redo our input. So just the same thing as before. So once you've redone your input, you should see the light on, and you can go ahead and just press buttons to access the menus wirelessly. So as you can see, it's not plugged into anything. Oh, it's really hard to do this just by hand, but press O, we're in the menu, press X, and we're back. So that is how you configure wireless controllers. From here on out, we will be covering how to get games from an external USB. On the USB drive, create folders for each of your games. So I have one for PlayStation set up. So once you have that, you can proceed with the rest of the tutorial. Okay, so once you're at the screen, press F4 to get into the terminal again. Now, you're going to want to type in ls/media/USB star, whatever you call that, and then put 1, press enter. It should list all of your USBs. So this is all the USBs that you have connected. So now, as we can see, in USB 0, I have Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Genesis, N64, NES, and PlayStation PlayStation, Super Nintendo, and just some other stuff. So, as we can see, that's USB 0, and there's nothing else in any other. So if your drive shows up on a different USB, write down which one it is because you will need that later. But in most cases, if it's the only USB that has storage on it, it will be USB 0. So, yeah, just keep that in mind as we continue. Next, type in sudo nano /etc/emu and then press tab. Should put you in emulation station. ES underscore, if I can figure out where underscore went. ES underscore, press tab again. Then you should see, so the command should be sudo nano /etc/emulation station /es underscore systems.cfg. So press enter. And this brings us into the configuration for all of our different systems. So, depending on which system you're trying to modify to make it run from the USB, you might want to choose a different system. But in my case, I'm looking to do PlayStation. So you're going to scroll down. And if you scroll down far enough, we get PSX. So now, you should see underneath it, you should see path. Now you're going to want to put in the path as media/USB 0. This is where, this is where if you have a different USB, you're going to want to put in the number of that USB. So media/USB 0 slash whatever folder it is. Mine's just called PSX to keep things nice and simple. And then after you've modded all of the systems that you want, I'm just going to do PlayStation for now. Press Control X, then press Y to save the file, and press Enter to override the existing file. So now you're going to want to type in sudo reboot. So this will reboot the system. Alright, I forgot to tell you this. When you get the boot up image with Retropie or whatever, you can go ahead and press the PlayStation button on your controller, and it should light up. And if it gets to the screen, just press a button on your controller, and it'll do that. So, as you can see, PlayStation is now showing up. I haven't copied the BIOS folder over, so it won't work very well. But I'll just show you Raiden Project real quick. I think this one sort of works without BIOS. Yeah, so it says no BIOS, so expect bugs, which is kind of expected. So I'm going to try and launch Raiden 2 without BIOS. And it's not going to let me. Come on. Yeah, it's not going to let me. But basically, that's all we need to do as far as that goes. So I'm not going to tell you where to get the BIOS. You need to get those yourself. You won't need them for all systems. PlayStation is the only system that I've run across that you really need them for. But basically, if you do find them, you can use a program like WinSCP or PuTTY to copy over the files to your Raspberry Pi for the BIOS. Or you can just do the normal way of importing ROMs or BIOS through USB. But you will, if you're going to transfer it, it should be in /home/pi/retropie, capital R and capital P, and then BIOS. And then you should just put your whatever the BIOS files that you need are in there. I think with PlayStation games, you also are required to put the BIOS in the same directory as the games. So if you've got your games running off your USB, you need to put them inside the PlayStation folder. But that's all you should need to do with BIOS. So the default Carbon theme is decent. I mean, it's not particularly flashy or anything. But there are actually a lot more themes. So if you go into the Retropie menu and click on ES Themes, we are prompted with a lot more. Now, don't worry about this, but my personal favorite that I use on my complete build is either Trunky Fran, however you say it, or Clean Look. Now, just so I don't get them confused, I've got Trunky Fran installed on the other one, so I'm just going to install Clean Look on this one. This shouldn't take nearly as long as it takes to update. It should only take, 1 minute, maybe 2, but I'll be back when this is done. Okay, so after it's done downloading, cancel back out of there, exit out, and go to UI settings. Now this is everything like screensaver, and I like the slide transition better, and also Clean Look. You're going to go down to theme set and change it to theme set. Press that to confirm. And it will look a bit weird, but just go into menu and then close out of the menu, and it'll fix itself. So this is one of the themes. You can download, actually I'll show you how to do that. You can download a themes gallery. So the themes gallery basically lets you go through and look at all of the different things. So you can press on download theme gallery. I'm not going to do it just so I don't take up the extra space. But you can go ahead and do that, and then it should say open theme gallery or something like that. And you can look through all the different themes if you're not sure which one you want. Okay, so another thing that we can change just easily is the splash screen. On boot by default, it comes with the one that just says Retropie with the joystick. That one's okay, but it doesn't really, I don't know. It looks very much like a stock background, something that would just come with it. So you want to, if you're gonna you can add your own, but I just download the Retropie extra splash screen. It should be the 9th option if you're on 4.1, and press square or enter on that, and it should download that. Alright, so you should get a prompt saying that you've downloaded all the extra splash screens. So now I'm going to go through and preview splash screens and play slideshow of all splash screens from the extra, and then I'm going to figure out which one I want. As you can see, it should say the number along the bottom. You can press square enter to go through the splash screens. There are a lot here, so just find one you like and find the file down at the bottom. So, once you've gone through and found the one that you want, choose splash screen and owner extra. Mine was, I think it was like, yes, it was this one, jrbsn-console-stripe.png. So press OK, press OK again. Then you can go ahead and cancel out of there, and nothing should change out here. You should still have our lovely menu. Now, if we were to quit and restart system, really restart. So now you can see we've got a different one, and we can also press the PlayStation button to get the Bluetooth set up. And it should connect within seconds here. So now we have Bluetooth set up and our own special splash screen. Should boot straight into Emulation Station. And there we go. Just another quick thing with the Raspberry Pi. I found this heatsink in an old computer that I have, and I put it on top of the CPU, so it's much cooler now. I do plan to overclock my Pi. I will not be covering overclocking in this video. If you guys want me to do that in a future video, I can, but I mounted it with some thermal paste I got the other day. And yeah. Other than that, my build's looking pretty good. Most of these are just fake, just to show off what games do and don't work. But PlayStation's ones are real, and everything works great. Yeah. What? Yep, Medieval on the original PlayStation. Alright guys, so that's probably all for this video. If you liked it, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. Yeah. See you next time.